as Matt Ducey mentioned in that interview, there is a mini budget coming. It's not going to go through all the kerfuffle, I don't think, of a lock-up or anything on the 20th of December. By the way, our last day on air is the 21st of December. We're sticking around till the government goes home as well. But that update, of course, is going to have, and National have been working pretty hard to spin this. Whole Labor had all these sorts of little landmines left in the economy and they didn't tell the truth. It's pretty standard for an incoming government. But while the national books may be in a woeful state, local body books almost universally around the country are in an appalling state. Wellington councils are warning of an unprecedented rate rise warning as they pay. Wellington City Council pays its chief executive a $50,000 pay rise. She gets more than $500,000 more than the Prime Minister earns for running a country. And all sorts of cost overruns. And let's just take Wellington as an example. Delayed infrastructure spending, massive rebuilds, and cycleways to nowhere that no one uses. And it is just one example of many local bodies around the country that are truly in the financial shtuck. I see Bay of Plenty, or Eastern Bay of Plenty, is it, looking to sell assets. Auckland, we know, is in trouble. And to top all that off, the people who are paying the rates are having problems paying their mortgage. An unprecedented spike or record levels of mortgage defaulting going on, particularly with people with mortgages over $500,000. It's eye-watering. So what is happening here? Why is this happening? And are we broke? Is your council broke? And that means you're broke. I think it's a really interesting question. And just when we get him up, Ben's working on that now, we're going to talk to our mate Cameron Bagrie from Bagrie Economics as to what's gone on here. And I'm going to say, and I look at Wellington as a Wellingtonian, do we need to ask the questions, have local bodies got the financial competence to be responsible for the finances of major metropolitan centres? Cameron joins us now. G'day, mate. Season's greetings, Cam. Can I just open up, mate, by asking you, is financial peril or mismanagement or strife for local bodies something new?
No, well, local authorities have been kicking the can down the road for probably a decade. Asset management hasn't been great. A lot of costs have been pushed down to local authorities from central government. Right. And that's made their life more difficult. And inflation has basically meant every project is blowing out. There's more and more social or populist-driven demands that have been placed on local authorities. So, society's got champagne taste in regard to what we want, but we tend to provide bare income into the councils because no one likes paying more rates. And we're getting into a bit of a bun fight going forward because it's pretty obvious that your local authority's funding model does not work at the moment, given the demands or the expectations in regard to what they're expected to provide on the other side.
Cameron, can we make international comparisons as to what the average metropolitan or person pays in rates? What's the international norm in a country similar to New Zealand?
I wouldn't know those numbers off the top of my head, but I'll give you just a benchmark because, look, people don't like paying rates. And every time you hear a big number in regard to what rates might need to be, society pushes back. But it might be useful for homeowners to go out there and check their rates bill, what they pay every year versus what they pay for electricity and gas over a 12-month period, and sort of compare the services, the utilities that your local authority provides relative to the bill that you're seeing out of your electricity retailer. And for a lot of regions around New Zealand, I don't think those bills would be too dissimilar.
Okay. Are you saying then that there is value for money, or people simply should accept the fact they should pay more?
Well, we're getting into the situation. It doesn't matter whether you look at central government or local government, is that we're going to have to make some trade-offs. Now, within those trade-offs, we either pay a bit more, or else we accept a lower level of service going forward, or we fundamentally change the operating model. Maybe we'll look at more efficiencies, reconfigure the balance sheet, sell one asset and buy an asset on the other side, or buy debt, consolidation across local authorities. I suspect the local authorities' funding model is ultimately going to have to require more money out of central government. So there could be a bit of a money go round here in regard to where the money comes from. But the operating model just does not work.
So how would you change that? How would a smart economist like you change the operating model, Cam? Let's take Wellington, where we live.
Well, in the first instance, what I do is I put a huge prospective rate increase on the table.
Which is what Wellington's doing, yeah.
Yeah, well, they've been steadily increasing rates. Well, not steadily. They've been double-digit rate increases for the past few years, and there's another big number on the table, and that's just a consequence of what can only be described as mismanagement of assets over a long, sustained period. So, the current council and previous councils, the torch, needs shone on in regard to what they've done, because they've just created an absolute bomb for taxpayers that we're going to now have to front up with. But we're going to have to make some hard decisions, because across the country, it doesn't matter if you look at Wellington or New Zealand, the case can be painted right here and now that they need rates to increase 30%.
Wow.
Now, is society going to be prepared to pay a 30% jump in rates in the next 12 months? The answer is no way. So we're seeing more and more that councils are starting to look at what's called the previous sacred cows. No one likes to sell assets. Well, lo and behold, you might need to sell assets to reinvest that money into other assets on the other side. So Auckland's had to let go of some airport shares. They're looking at what's happening with the port. Christchurch City is looking at Christchurch City Holdings. Every council around the table is going to be thinking fundamentally different going forward. And that's a good thing. Councils every year should be looking at their assets through both an economic and the social lens. If you're not getting an economic rate of return, you need to be getting some sort of social rate of return. If you're not getting either, then jettison the asset, because ultimately it just becomes a cost to ratepayers.
Yeah.